So that toggle.
Got it. So show completed messages, I toggle it off.
Yeah. Okay.
This isn't a collaboration, so if I click this, it should disappear.
It should, when they're completed.
Incredible.
Sprout Social, they sponsor the show. But they should. We love them so much now.
Yeah, no, this is an official partnership that we're announcing right now. Wyrm Lyfe, sponsored by Sprout Social.
They don't know it.
Sprout Life.
Know it. Sprout Life. From now on, if you leave us a comment, it now goes into basically like an inbox. We can now see these and actually respond and actually manage our social media.
Yeah.
Before we couldn't.
In one place.
And so what we do, we have a thing where if someone responds to us or interacts with us and they just have a big follower count, it puts them in a separate bucket for us interacted with us.
The comments that matter.
Yes, the people that matter.
They all matter.
Not the lobies.
The brokies.
The brokies, the lobies. Not for poor people.
Nothing. I was gonna say.
Education. You're getting education. They're getting education today.
Again?
I own a modular game table. You can tell. Look at this. This cost more than my table. We get this complaint. The end toppers, winging, gappies.
Like lifting off the table?
Yes.
The armrest?
Do we have an image?
I probably can find one, yeah.
Someone should go find one so we can show.
Are they warpy?
I own a modular game table, and this just happened to me. So now it's personal. Before it was just the customers. Let's say this is your modular game table, all right? And this is sort of like this is the vault. You see how this works? And these are your toppers. Ooh, ready? Isometric. Take them to art school. What causes Wyrmwood? What we're doing, educating customer experience, not customer service, customer XP.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
Customer experience.
Yes.
We're going to educate customer experience so that they can better help our clients, customers, people. So, what causes wood movement? Wood movement being, if you have a board, I'm looking down the end of a board. Yeah. Actually, I'll isometric it again. Wood movement, if this is flat, right, wood movement is when this rectangle goes from flat to either a frowny face or a happy face.
Technical term.
Right? This is what can happen.
See what happens, Larry?
This is what happens.
That's what happens.
This is what happens. This is what happens.
Do you see what happens, Larry?
Right? So what makes your boards sad or happy? Anybody know what actually causes that?
Environmental changes like temperature or humidity?
Most of the way there.
Moisture.
It definitely has to do with moisture. What is the goal of wood in its life? Like, what does wood do?
It grows.
It moves water from the roots to the leaves. All wood wants to do is it wants to be strong to keep the tree upright, and it wants to move water from the ground to the leaves. That's why it's so absorptive. Word?
Nope.
Absorbent, like a sponge. No, literally, if you zoom into like a cross section of wood, it really is just a series of straws, pores. And so what happens is if you put water in, H2O in, what happens is it swells, right? It gets bigger in all directions. And then if it's really dry, goes on like a little diet, shrinks. But that's not what causes warpage necessarily.
So, question, distinction. So I know that, you can see this indoors in your house. Like they're easier to close in the winter because the wood's shrinking down because it's dry.
Yeah.
And then when it gets wet, they kind of expand. But usually they're not warping. So there's a difference there.
It's consistent. It is, what can cause warpage is uneven drying. If you have a stack of boards and all of a sudden it becomes very, very, very dry, the inside right here can't dry off. The top board, it's getting dry, this is drier, dry, dry, wet. What will happen is as this dries out, this top will shrink in. This will shrink, and because this is shrinking, the width here is less than the width here, so it will curve this. Because that top is getting dry faster. It's changing its... Now if the bottom was also changing dimension at the same time, it wouldn't warp, it would just get slightly narrower. This is all very important. Like, I'm not joking. You guys actually should know this because we sell solid wood furniture. Now, in our toppers, so this is topper 1, topper 2, topper 3, topper 4. We have the bumpers, right? Those bumpers that keep it in the table, right? That prevent the topper from sliding off the table. Those bumpers, we actually give it play because we understand that this entire topper is going to expand and contract. It's going to move either this way or this way, this way or this way, depending on the season. So during the winter, it's shrinking, and during the summer, it's expanding. Our old school tables, those topper bumpers, were fixed. Now, our new ones are actually adjustable. So this is what the new ones are going to be. See how this is slotted? See, that's a slotted hole, right? So that slotted hole is going to allow you to adjust this position.
That said, it's worth saying we already account for the movement in the placement of the fixed ones, if I'm not mistaken.
You're 100%
So,
correct.
If you don't have this, it's not a problem. We're just improving in a slight way.
Right.
So.
We make things better. If you're having issues, by the way, with the fit of your topper, you can contact our customer service. We'll just send you these replacement bumpers. You can just literally throw these on and then all of a sudden they're adjustable. Anyway, can I tell you what happened to me? My problem, what can happen on my topper right here, so this is sort of the edge of my table, right? This topper, it's like doing this sort of thing. I'm getting a little bit of a gap right here because my house is a garbage heap. There's no insulation, and the cold air just comes right in, right off the lake. It's a lake house.
First you brag about your water, and then a lake house? What is this?
It's a lake house.
Is it a lake or is it a pond?
It is named a lake.
Okay.
However, I think it is, according to technical definitions, a pond.
Oh.
I think they just sort of
Like
like,
a size thing makes it a lake or a pond?
I believe it's a depth thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so here's what happened to me. This started curling up. It gets a little rocky. And by the way, all of these toppers are getting a little curly, right? Why are they getting curly? They're getting curly because it is dry around my table, but in the vault, there's no air movement. So it's like a little humidor.
So they're all kind of scalloped, is what's happening.
That's what they will do because it's solid wood. Anyway, people have been contacting us because it is kind of a pain in the dick. Here's what you do. You take this outside one and occasionally you just simply flip it over. So in this case right here, with this where I have stacked wood with the top is curly, if you literally take that top board and you turn your frown upside down, you just stack it like this, it will actually just settle out. So for what I did before I went to bed last night is I just took this leaf and I flipped the bitch. You just flip it. That is actually just a good way.
Is that like an overnight thing or like a couple day thing or it just depends on the severity?
It's going to depend on the severity. That is so because what people are going to be doing is they're going to be contacting us saying, "Oh my God, I think we've been sending replacements. It's expensive." Honestly, the easiest thing for customers is just if it really is dry in your house, you can humidify the room. That will help alleviate a lot of this. Now, if you live in a barn like I do, I'm going to just simply on mine just flip that every once in a while, which is a little goofy, but that's what you get for having solid wood furniture.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this isn't really a flaw. It's the nature of wood.
Right.
So like even if you get a new one, it's still probably going to happen if your house has those conditions.
It is solid wood furniture. Solid wood has good things and bad things. It's durable, it's gorgeous, you can refinish it, you beat it to how, like it's got all these things going for it, but the weakness is the wood movement.
It's like a little game.
It's fun.
It's like a little puzzle game with your table. It's a game table.
Well, and you can teach your
fun.
kids about wood movement.
Yeah, educational.
It's
Say,
educational.
obviously, if you have this issue and you're not sure, you can always reach out to us and show us what's going on. This will probably be the first thing we say. But you know, if that doesn't work or something, like we're still here, we're still able to.
You leave it flipped for like 2 weeks and nothing happens.
Yeah, like
Correct,
we're not just not going to do it, but go on.
No, and that is 100% correct. And there are aberrations. There are
Yes.
pieces of wood that are just fundamentally fucked up, and we do need to replace those. The more you know.
Say all my fun games.
Well, I mean...
I don't know.
what I love most about this conversation is it started with us asking about the powder coating on the metal,
That is true.
which reminds me of like our road trips and just where the conversations went.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent of that.
I'm gonna do the we're gonna do the thing tomorrow.